Do you see what I'm wearing today in commemoration of the AWB 2015, the Assault Weapons Ban of 2015, Bill?
Your birthday suit?
No.
Oh, no, that's not. Oh, AAFU shirt.
I'm wearing my AAFU shirt, and I'm drinking out of my AAFU coffee mug. And what does it say on it? What does it say? What's the slogan of AAFU?
Because we don't need your permission.
Yeah,
that's the family-friendly slogan.
Yeah, that's the family-friendly slogan.
Ryan Heffers has a grad program for
family-friendly.
Yeah.
That's right. But this is the public hour, so we can only do the family-friendly version. But the family-friendly version says it. The American Association of Firearms Users motto is, because we don't need your permission. And so we might want to remind people, the employees who work for us, who live in Washington, D.C., that we don't need your permission or approval, employee. Didn't that ironic, Jared, that the employees of the people think that their employer needs their permission and approval?
Yeah.
We don't need your approval or permission. Just so you know. All right.
It's an interesting concept.
I am wired today. I'm wired for sound. And who am I? I am your host, Professor Paul Markle. And I'm sitting inside of the Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy a silencers online, period.
Period. Full stop.
I think my
End of story.
My favorite thing about that is that you can just order them online and the fees are included.
And the fees are
included.
You
just go pick them up. Yeah.
And you say, but I don't know how to find a Class 3 dealer.
And that's another thing, is that they, SilencerShop.com online, they have the freaking videos and articles. It's just like you can go there, find reviews. Yeah, it's like a how to buy, and then they also have reviews on a bunch of different silencers. So it helps you choose.
That's one of the things that people who never purchased a suppressor, silencer, moderator, muffler, whatever, they don't know where to start. They think, okay, I have the bug. I want to do this, but I don't know where to start. And if I go into my local, Johnny's Gun Shop on Main Street, USA, he might not be a Class 3 dealer. So he doesn't, and you're like, what's a Class 3 dealer? Good question. You can't buy a silencer through your average gun shop.
What kind of drugs do they deal at Class 3 places? Is that what they are? Class 3 dealers, like drugs?
Schedule. You're talking about schedules.
Oh, schedule.
Narcotics are a different schedule.
Oops.
Schedule 1, Schedule, So.
Yeah, sorry.
Close, but no cigar. All right, so
where did that come from? I was thinking about that the other day. Where did that come from?
Carnivals.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
Did they try to build a cigar?
No. They gave you cigars as prizes.
Oh,
cigars.
Really?
The nickel cigar way back in the days of the nickel cigar. You would your prize would be a cigar. Close, but no cigar.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now I have to tell Alex because her and I were trying to figure it out.
You kids today. You kids.
I bet you that almost every single person in our audience right now didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, well, at carnivals and fairs, they used to give away, they would have boxes of what this country needs is a good nickel cigar. Young kids, you don't have any idea where that came from or who said it. And I don't have time to tell you. Do your own research, you freak. All right. We're going to celebrate. When people pass away, when they leave us, when they finish their journey and leave this earth, often we feel sad. But sometimes you need to stop for a moment and say, well, I don't want to feel sad. I want to celebrate what they left behind. And we're going to do that right now. Rest in peace, Lemmy Kilmister, Motorhead. All of you young crumb crunchers probably don't know who the heck that is, but you should, because a lot of your music was influenced by them.
He's the Ace of Spades.
Yeah. I grew up in the 80s rock era with Slayer and Motorhead and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and so forth. And I wouldn't say I was a Motorhead fanatic, but they were part of the mix. They're part of the Megadeth, Slayer, Motorhead, Pantera. They're part of that mix from the early 80s and the heavy metal era. So.
If you would like to see Grandma Bosoms, you can go to a
What?
Who was it?
Grandma Bosoms?
Yeah.
Did you say Grandma
Yeah,
Bosoms?
if you want to see Grandma Bosoms, then you can go to the concert, the one that they had at the Hard Rock. It was it Slayer. Who was it? Motorhead? No, it wasn't Motorhead.
Judas Priest?
No, it was the other one that you just said.
Slayer, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Pantera.
It was part of the mix. They were at the Hard Rock. Metal something.
Megadeth?
No. Megadeth, that's who it was.
Megadeth was at the Hard Rock?
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, they were there, remember?
I didn't see him.
Well.
I've never seen Megadeth in my life.
There were grandmas sitting outside the door waiting to get in. It was interesting. For Megadeth, yeah.
50, 60-something women rocking. Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't the clientele I expected to see.
All right, freaks and hippies, it is Wednesday, which means it is time for a SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk, and Jared's got one lined up for us.
This is one that we said we were going to talk about, and we've been talking about it for, 2-3 weeks now?
Well, it's time because...
It is time because...
It's today, the Wednesday the 30th.
Yep, in 2 days it's going to be New Year's, and I know a lot of you guys have New Year's resolutions, and I want to talk to you about setting goals rather than resolutions. Or a resolution. What is a resolution? Okay,
I resolve to.
Yeah, it's simply admitting that you have a problem and finding the solution to that problem. A resolution is not acting on that solution. So you make the resolution. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I need to make this better about myself, and I'm going to do this to do that. Okay, so what are you going to do? Are you going to just talk about it, or are you going to actually go do it?
Well, I'm going to go to the gym on January 2nd.
Yeah, for 7, maybe 14 days.
I'm going to work out hard on January 2nd.
Yep, and then January 3rd, you're not.
Well, I mean, I worked out hard, so I'm good. I'm going to reward myself with a week off.
Yeah, there you go. But I want you guys, I've been talking about this for a long time, and for those of you that watched the first episode of Season 6, and if you haven't, go to Roku or Amazon Fire TV and watch it.
See, episode of what?
It's Student of the Gun TV.
Yeah, you got to remind them. Some people are like, you have a TV show?
Yeah. Student of the Gun, Season 6 of Episode 1 of Season 6 of Student of the Gun TV. Go watch it on Amazon Fire TV. You can get it on Roku. It's going to be available on studentofthegun.com in about, I think, another week.
And yes, the developers are still working on the Apple TV channel.
Yes, that is true. So anyway, goals. Set them. Tell somebody about them. Somebody that is close to you and will hold you to them. You can't just tell like some random person on the street that doesn't care if you reach those goals.
I like to stop homeless people and I tell them my goals.
I have this goal, and then you feel better about yourself. But just tell somebody that's close to you, a spouse, a significant other, somebody that's going to hold you to it, and that's probably not even a good example.
Someone that could remind you.
Or write the goals down on a piece of paper, put them on your fridge, on your coffee maker, on your TV, tape them on your TV, because I know you're going to look there, or your computer screen. And once you do that, I want you to look at those goals every single day. Every single day. All right?
You know what Yeager does? And then you guys are like, oh, you shut up, Yeager. Shut the hell up. No, he actually admitted this. He's got a fat Jaeger picture in the corner of his bathroom mirror.
Oh, there you go. You look at that every day.
He said, I keep a picture of, because he reached that point in like 2007, 2008. And he said, you know what? I'm tired of being pudgy. I've been pudgy all my life. I've been chubby Jaeger all my life. And he said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And he said, I took that picture, I put it right there in the corner of the mirror. And I said, so every day I get up and I'm like, do you want to be that guy again, or do you want to be who you are now?
Yeah.
So that's motivation.
Yeah. If you're not at that point right now, then I don't know what to do. Don't take a picture of yourself and say, I don't want to be like that. And it's really all about being happy with yourself and being able to do, like, obviously, as a student of the gun, you want to be able to complete the tasks you need to be ready for the fight of your life. But you don't have to be a fitness model or, I don't know, a power lifter that somebody looks up to just to do what you need to done. You don't have to be one of those people.
Well, no, you have to say to yourself, am I doing this just for the sake of doing it? It's kind of like CrossFitters. Are you doing it just for the sake of doing it, or are you doing it to provide yourself with the ability, skills, tools to accomplish your mission? Marines work out. Marines exercise. Marines sweat. Marines run. They circuit train. They do all kinds of stuff. But that's not their goal. That's not their mission. Their mission is not to be athletes. Their mission is to fight.
Yeah.
And in order to fight, they need to have the basic standard. You have to have the platform to fight from. And if you can't make it to the top of the stairs without taking 2 breaks, you don't have the platform to fight from.
You know what? It's interesting to me about setting goals and stuff. Somebody told me, one of the people that I was helping out set goals, they said, this takes so much time to sit down and think about, and it takes a lot of thought to think about goals that you actually want to achieve. It's easy to come up with 1, maybe 2, but you come up with 3 goals and then 1 main goal that those 3 goals actually help you achieve. And yes, it takes thought, but my thing is, if you're not willing to sit down and put thought into your goals, then you have no drive. You're not going to actually get in the gym and work out anyway. So what's the point in being doing it? So the first thing you need to do is sit down, put some thought into your life. It is your life. Is it worth it? Mine is. Mine's worth it to me. So I would assume that yours is worth it to you.
There you go, assuming.
That's what, you know what to say about that.
Okay. All right, so set goals, not resolutions, is the main gist of today's SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk. Now, how are they going to, SWAT Fuel, what's that stuff all about? And how can I save money when I buy
SWAT
it?
Fuel is awesome. I started my routine with the 40 cal multivitamin. It's my daily. I take that daily 3 times a day. And then when I work out, I take the 9mm plus P. If you guys want more information on that, go to SWATfuelstore.com. He's got a bunch of stuff up there. He's even got a book in his store. So go there. If you want to save some money, use the promo code PREPARED, PREPARED. And yes, it is actually active now.
It is an active code, but it expires in February. Yep. So it's 15% off.
It'll help you. Just trust me on this. It will help you once you've sat down and put the thought into your goal. It might even help you think about your goals, honestly. But once
it actually will.
Once you've set your goals, it will actually assist you in reaching them. Now, it won't. It's not a magic pill. You actually have to do something.
You mean I can't just take it, sit on the couch, and lose weight?
No. Well, I mean, if you don't eat anything,
if you don't eat anything, if you sit there and atrophy, but that's not the goal.
Now, next week. First, go to SWATfuelstore.com, use the promo code PREPARED to check out and save 15%, and that code ends soon, so you want to take advantage of that. Next week, I'm going to be talking about balance and how important it is in your life. It actually came from somebody on Instagram. It's at Amber J Energy if you want to check her out, AMBERJAYENERGY on Instagram.
All right, moving on. Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in America, and congratulations to one of our grad program members. I don't have the grad program Facebook open in front of me right now, but one of our grad program members posted a picture of his new M92 PAP pistol, AK pistol, and I told him, I looked at it and I said, get a crank brake. You want one. You need one. If you guys ordered the PAP pistols and you ordered a plain one, like this basic stock with no wrist stabilizing brace and no brake, I don't even know why they sell them without the brakes, so you can save $25. Buy the brake. Acklys, AKLYS. Acklys Defense sells a crank brake that you can put on the front of that PAP pistol. Trust me on this. Look at me. Look at me. Look at your iPod. Look at your phone. Look at your computer. I'm looking at you. If you have one of those guns, just get one of the breaks. You won't regret it. And then after you do, it's going to take a belt sander to get the smile off of your face. It's just so much fun. All right, Century Arms. Oh, Crossbreed Holsters. Check this out. Jared, did you get that email that I sent you? We just got it as we were prepping the show notes.
Negative.
All right, I forwarded it to you. But as we were prepping the show notes, I just got a notification that Crossbreed is going to be, well, helping people save money, too.
Oh,
they're doing a
quick
promo code.
If you guys need help, instead of contacting me on Facebook or sending an email to my Student of the Gun email, I don't check those that often. So send something to info@studentofthegun.com and you will get taken care of much quicker. I don't want to see you guys waiting. So info@studentofthegun.com. And that's where all of our emails come from. So whitelist them in your email provider.
Did you just say to whitelist them?
Yep, that's what it's called.
You lost 50% of the audience.
Yeah.
So
when you signed up for the email, you should have got something telling you how to do it.
How to do it. Okay, here's the deal. Crossbreed Holsters is offering a discount on the new Drop Slide holster through January 3rd, combining the best from December 30th, which is today as we release this, to January 3rd. The Drop Slide will be available 15% off the introductory price from participating dealers. All right, you want to find out more? This is super simple. You want to find out more? Go to crossbreedholsters.com. There you go. Go to crossbreedholsters.com. And when you need to lube up stuff, when you need to lube your door hinges, your knife hinge, when you need to lube your gun, sometimes you need to frog lube your sword.
Yeah.
And you know, it's your life. Live it like you want. Every once in a while, I have to frog lube my sword. Where can I get frog lube?
Brownells.
From participating dealers and brownells.com. And in addition to getting frog lube at brownells.com, you can get what? Duracoat. You can get it from lauerweaponry.com or Duracoat or Brownells. I'm sorry, brownells.com.
You can get frog lube from Duracoat? Well, you can get the color.
Yeah, you can get electric Everglades.
Did we do that yet?
No, yeah, we did. See that green rifle right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we should make that public. That looks awesome.
You're an artard. That was one of the many things that we've discussed. That is a project on the list of projects that we need to accomplish. No, seriously, Duracoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun. And Velocity triggers. What are they?
Oh, you're asking me?
I'm asking you, hippie.
It's superior quality and value.
That's right, velocitytriggers.com. You got a black rifle? You do? Well, good for you.
Or a electric green rifle?
Or electric Everglades is the name of the color. Yeah. I think Duracoat has something like 30 different shades of green.
So it's 30 Shades of Green now? Is that that's the title?
Yeah, 30 Shades of Green. That's the... All right, shut up for a second. Shut up, shutting up. Smith & Wesson controversy. You've heard about it. I've heard about it. Maybe you haven't heard about it, but you're going to hear about it. Here's the dealio, yo. All right. I believe it first broke on recoilweb.com. The Recoil magazine has a website called recoilweb.com. And the story broke on December 22nd, 2015, which obviously was right before Christmas time. And most of you didn't hear about it originally or didn't find out about it until other people were talking about it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and address this. And I'm going to read directly from the article. And the article was posted by, it just says Recoil staff. So whatever. Last week, the special Smith & Wesson M&P build for the Brownells Dream Guns project was announced. Now, Brownells has been doing this for how many years, Jared? I know 2 years ago when we were at SHOT and we were filming in the Brownells booth, 2 or 3 years ago, was it? That they had the Dream Guns. Remember that? And they were doing giveaways. They had a Super Ninja custom AR, Super Ninja custom shotgun. And so what they decided to do, because they like to have fun with stuff like this, is they announced a Dream Gun M&P, Smith & Wesson M&P pistol. And they were going to have Apex Tactical, so Apex Trigger, Brownells, D&P Custom, Blown Deadline Custom, SSVI. They all received a cease and desist letter from a law firm representing Smith and Wesson. You're like, what? All right, well, let's read to you from the letter. Quote, "It has recently come to Smith & Wesson's attention that you have developed and are promoting for sale an M&P Dream Gun, which will be here to be referred to, or it will be referred to as the infringing product. To create this product, you have modified an authentic Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm pistol by inter alia." Wow. Oh, how do you hate lawyers until you need one? "Changing the grip texture and shape, machining the slide, adding numerous accessories and replacing parts while retaining the Smith & Wesson logo on the product." The December 18th, 2015 Apex press release announced this product, explaining Apex's intention to exhibit the infringing product at the 2016 SHOT Show. So here's the deal. Everybody who's going to the SHOT Show now is going to sprint to the Brownells booth to see the infringing product. Infringe show exhibit as attached to this correspondence as Exhibit B. They even went so far as to attach the Apex press release as Exhibit B. The numerous alterations made to the original design of Smith & Wesson firearms constitute not only unauthorized modifications to Smith & Wesson's proprietary design and a misuse of Smith & Wesson's trademark, but present significant safety and quality concerns. Indeed, these modifications void the Smith & Wesson factory warranty on these products. Your advertisement and display of the infringing product to promote your gunsmithing services and other products and services constitutes misuse of Smith & Wesson's trademarks and must cease. Wow. So, now here's the dealio. Does a corporation have the right, the duty, and the obligation to protect its patents and trademarks? The answer is yes, they do. Coca-Cola, probably the most familiar trademark you'll ever encounter. I'll give you this is a fantastic example, and a lot of you crumb crunchers don't know anything about this, but I'm going to tell you. There was a little band called the Kinks back in the 70s and 80s. And they did a song called Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. And what was Lola drinking? Well, in the original lyrics, Lola was,
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Tastes just like, it tastes just like Coca-Cola. C-O-L-A, Cola. They wrote the original song, and they put the word Coca-Cola in it. Well, they got a nasty letter from Coca-Cola's attorneys. If you know anything about Coke, they have these pit bull attorneys on retainer. And so they changed it. So when you listen to the current version, it says Cherry Cola. Tastes just like Cherry Cola. And you're like, who cares, Paul? I care. You know why? Because the people at Coca-Cola are tools for doing that. Well, we don't all have to protect the trademark, Paul. I can't allow someone to use their trademark name. Do you know how many times the song Lola has been played over the airwaves of the world in the last 40 years? When I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I probably heard the song 1,000 times. That would have been 1,000 times that the Kinks would have recommended to me the product Coca-Cola. You can't buy advertising like that. You can't pay for advertising like that. It would cost you too much. When someone, and with the Kinks saying, Coca-Cola sucks and you should never drink it. No, they just put the word Coca-Cola in their song. And Coke's lawyers are like, you can't use her without permission. Screw you. If someone is slandering your trademark or your patents or your name, if they libel your name, do you have the requirement? Are you required to? Do you have the moral obligation to defend your trademark? Yes, you absolutely do. Now, I'm going to throw this question out as the devil's advocate. Is the Dream Gun a gun that is slandering, defaming, or libeling, or diminishing the Smith & Wesson brand and trademarks, or is it doing the opposite? Riddle me this, Batman. How many people you think are going to win the Dream Gun? Well, if there's one Dream Gun, the answer is
one.
I know I'm not a scientist or a mathematician, but if there's one Dream Gun and they're giving it away as a prize, who gets to win that gun? One person. So, the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that were made aware of the Smith & Wesson Model M&P Brownells compilation Dream Gun, they can't win it because only one person can. But now they're excited, they're interested, they're like, man, I wish I had a gun like that. If I go and buy a stock Smith & Wesson M&P pistol, can I send it to these gunsmiths and have them turn it into a cool gun like that one? Why, yes, you can, Johnny. You can do that because you're an American. What Smith & Wesson did with it, what their lawyers did, is they said, screw you to Brownells, Apex Triggers, D&P Customs, Dead Down Line, SSI, and so forth. We don't want your free advertising. We don't want you to put the M&P name in front of what? I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Probably millions of people.
Probably millions of potential customers that will cost us not one penny. Everybody has an ad budget. Even Smith & Wesson has an ad budget. But instead of taking the logical step and saying, and let's say that they were concerned, do you not think it would be better to do a private back channel communication or to come out with this full frontal assault with your lawyers? Now, stop yourself. I know some of you out there, and even my friends, have said, stop, Paul. This isn't Smith & Wesson Company. This is Smith & Wesson Attorney Law Firm. If you're going to look me in the face and say the law firm acted on its own, they went rogue, sent out this public letter to, okay, I know Apex is not a big name, DP, but Brownells is big. When you slap Brownells in the face, people are going to think, man, you just slapped Brownells in the face? I like Brownells. And you slapped him in the face? What's up with that? You're telling me that the attorneys were on their own, went rogue, sent out this letter, and slapped all these companies in the faces publicly without the knowledge or permission of the staff, the executives at Smith & Wesson. If that is indeed the case, Smith & Wesson has a problem because they're allowing their attorneys to make public statements and decisions for the company. The law firm doesn't lose market share or revenue when Smith & Wesson gun sales go down. Smith & Wesson executives and board members are the ones who have to answer for the revenue loss. So if you're telling me that attorneys just have carte blanche, well, since you made us your attorneys, we're going to make public statements on behalf of the company. Or is it that they said they drafted the letter, they showed it to the executives, the board, and they sent it out? Or they showed it to an executive or what have you. Now, here's the deal. Does Smith & Wesson have the right and the authority to protect its trademarks? Yes, it does. Absolutely. The disconnect is this. When you put attorneys in charge, when you make decisions Now, should you take legal advice? We pay attorneys to give us legal advice. We have an attorney. My corporation, I have a corporate attorney. Now, I don't talk to him on a regular basis, but if something comes up legal-wise, I run it by him and I say, what do you think about this? Because you're detached from the situation and I need to have your opinion. And he gives me his opinion. Now, just because my attorney says this is what I think you should do doesn't mean I have to do that. I'm obligated to do that. Now, let's say Smith & Wesson's law firm on their own discovered this and went to the president and said, look what we found. And this is the letter we have drafted to smack these hoes right in their faces. Should we send the letter? And they're like, yeah, looks good to me. Send it. Or, well, you're the attorneys. You know better than me. No. At some point in time, you have to say, there's this little thing and I coined this at least 2 to 3 years ago during the great guns and ammo crisis of 2012, 2013. And I coined a term called searching for Judas. The gun industry the gun culture has been burned several times by shooting industry people. They've been burned by gun writers like Jim Zumbo and Dick Metcalf et al. People who took the reasonable, we need to be reasonable and work with the state and the leftists and the progressives. We need to work with them. We need to understand that the right to keep and bear arms is not an absolute right. And the gun culture is constantly on the lookout for Judas. They want to find a Judas. You need to understand this. And, during the 2012, 2013 thing, as many people as I could tell in the shooting industry, I'm like, look, Remington did it in the middle of the great guns and ammo crisis when people couldn't find ARs, couldn't find ammo. It was all gone. They announced a multi-million-dollar contract with the U.S. government, and they're going to fulfill. And people are like, oh, Paul, come on, that contract was probably in the works, years before any of this happened. Yeah, I understand that. I'm not an idiot. But when Johnny Gunbuyer is all PO'd because he can't find an AR for less than $2,000 and he can't find ammo at any kind of a decent price, you, as a gun manufacturer, are going to go out in front of the public and wave it in their face. Hey, look what we just did. We just signed a $1.7 million deal with the federal government to provide them with ammo and guns. And they're like, oh, that's nice. So just screw me as a consumer, right? And you're like, well, what should Remington do? Not take the deal? No, I'm not saying they shouldn't take the deal. What I'm saying is you don't wave it in their faces because they're searching for a Judas. And when Smith & Wesson, when you let your attorneys put something out like this, you're feeding into it. Now, I know that reasonable, rational heads in our industry, in the pundit industry, so they're like, oh, come on, gun culture, give Smith & Wesson a break. They apologized. All right, let's talk about that real quick. Recoil Magazine, the day after the Caca storm, ran another article called Smith & Wesson clarifies and makes nice. All right. Well, what is this clarification? James Debney, CEO of Smith & Wesson, yesterday, as this story came out, I think the story broke on the 23rd, 24th, essentially clarified the company's position on the Dream gun. And I'll give you the quote from James Debney that was issued after the official slap in the face by the Smith & Wesson law firm. I would like to clarify that we fully support the Brownells Dream Guns project, and we appreciate that it showcases the many ways in which our customers, the loyal fans of the M&P brand, can choose to customize their M&P firearms. Our decision to contact the companies that worked on the project was intended to protect the trademarks that support the M&P brand. See, that kind of falls in the, okay, I got that. You're allowed. You absolutely have the right to protect your trademark. When a product bears the Smith & Wesson M&P trademarks and is purchased new with our lifetime service policy, we want to be sure that the customer knows that it has passed our rigorous quality standards. In an effort to protect that promise and to preserve the brand that we and our customers cherish. He's got a speechwriter. We did not fully understand the intent of the Dream Guns project, and we overlooked the opportunity to convey our enthusiasm. I really wonder how many people got in the room and crafted this letter, because it was crafted. It's funny. It's like a politician's speech. We overlooked the opportunity. Jared, you appreciate this, don't you? As a copywriter, when you read copy, you're like, it's the hot buttons. They took the words. They picked out words that invoke emotion.
It's like they have Jenga blocks, and they're like, okay, this one goes here.
And this one goes here. Okay. Convey our enthusiasm for the creativity and innovation that Brownells and all of the other companies involved. They smacked Brownells in public. That ain't cool. I'm just saying. They smacked Brownells in public. And that ain't cool, because Brownells is good people. Brownells is the guy across the street. Brownells is your friendly neighbor. Brownells is the uncle that you love because he taught you how to shoot or throw a football.
Yeah.
You don't smack that guy in public and say, "What's up?" And then people come back to you and they're like, "Hey, you smack my favorite uncle?" I don't think so, buddy. We look forward to seeing the firearm on display at the upcoming SHOT Show and at NRA in May. Pete's not the acting president anymore. He's just the chairman. He's higher than that. But Brownell's president, Matt Buckingham. Thank you for correcting me. Issued a statement. I've spoken with James Debney, president of Smith & Wesson, who called me regarding the project. Brownell's president, it was simply a misunderstanding about the intention of the project. We made it clear we're excited about working with them, yada, yada, yada. Here's the deal. All right, take the word Smith & Wesson out of it, take the word Remington out of it, take the word Colt out of it, take the word whatever. It doesn't matter. Right now we have this disconnect between the shooting industry and the gun culture. And that is the greatest form of frustration for me and many people that are in my position, because we have friends in both. And you're like, no, Paul, the gun culture and the shooting industry are the same. Those are interchangeable words. No, they are not. The gun culture is, in addition to constantly being searching for Judas, the gun culture demands stupid things. Like, the gun culture will call up a rifle manufacturer and say, "Hey, I really like that gun. You should make it in the 338 Lapua." And they're like, "And I'll buy one." And the gun manufacturer says, "Well, okay, that's nice that you'll buy one. If you have 400 friends that are willing to pre-order that gun, then we can make it. But we don't make one gun because you'll buy it." Or, "Well, me and my buddies at the gun shop would all buy one of your guns." The gun culture doesn't understand, because they're just consumers, and modern American consumers have almost zero understanding of what it takes to create a product, to bring a product to market. The investment, the time, the development, the marketing, they have almost none, because our school systems have totally crapped in their hats and not taught any of that. You're like, "I want it." The modern American consumer is this. "I want it. You have to sell it to me now, because that's fair. And I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it." That's the American consumer. And the American manufacturer's like, "That's nice that you want it, baby, but it doesn't work like that." Unfortunately, in the shooting industry, we have manufacturers that aren't shooters. You're like, oh, what do you mean, Paul? No, dudes. The blender salesmen that sit on the board at Remington, they went out for a photo shoot. Someone handed them an over-under shotgun. They put it in the crook of their arm, smiled, took their picture, handed it back. I've seen, Jared, do you remember this? Press photos of firearms industry executives wearing those khaki Upland game field vests. The one dude, I wish I could remember which guy it was. But I know this is anecdotal. He was wearing the vest. He had the over-under, the $20,000 Perazzi over-under break open in the crook of his arm, smiling at the camera, or over his shoulder. That's even better, over the shoulder. There were fold creases in the vest. You could see them. They didn't Photoshop them out. We were like, well, what do you mean? What I mean is they showed up, the assistant opened up the vest, unfolded it, handed it to him. They put it on, put the shotgun over the shoulder, smiled for the press photo, handed the stuff back, and went back to work. Because they're not gun people. They make products. And the reason you have Smith & Wesson controversies, Remington controversies, and whatever the next one's going to be, Glock controversies, you name it, is because the people that are running the companies aren't shooters. They're not gun culture people. I know. You just fell out of your freaking chair. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the great incongruity that we have. The reason and why it's going to keep happening is because the people that sit in the executive boardrooms of many of these large companies are not gun culture people, and they don't understand the gun culture. That's why Remington, Big R, Big Green, has set about to destroy the brand names that they purchased over the last 10, 12, 15 years. Because they don't understand. They hire blender salesmen to sell guns. They take the advice of attorneys like gospel, and they put 12.5-pound triggers on 22 rifles that you can barely press. The old joke about the lawyer, the lawyer triggers. And is it ever going to stop? Is it ever going to change? I don't know. I have no idea. But it frustrates me when I see this. It should have never happened. The problem I have with the Smith & Wesson controversy is that, holy hell, how did you let this happen? Was a mistake made? Yeah. Well, it was a mistake was made, but when you draft a public smack in the face, and that was a drafted letter, they didn't just hand that to an intern and say, hey, write a letter that tells these people to stop. No. The people in their law firm made a lot of money. You mean they paid them to draft that letter? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they paid a lot of money to do that. So, folks, shooting sports industry people, if any of you listen to me, and that's the thing is, I doubt if any of them do. I don't know. Know this. Number one, the gun culture with the internet and the Facebook and the Twitter and the this and the that is constantly searching for Judas. Whether it's right or wrong, they are, because they've been burned before. And they were burned in 1994 by a company whose initials are Sierra Whiskey. And Sierra Whiskey should know better. On the other hand, gun culture people understand this. Just because you think something is cool and neat and great, just because you think that all of your buddies ran out in a panic to buy 1,000 rounds of .22, now you can't find it, and it's the gun industry's fault. It's the ammo industry's fault for not making enough. They should just build more factories. No, they can't do that. When you go from a 100% market to a 1,000% market, you can't just dump millions of dollars into factories hoping that it's going to stay that way. A lot of companies got burned after the 2010 spike when they took out loans. They took out loans to build new factories and shops and what have you, and it tanked, and they lost their butts. So I don't really know what to tell you except that, number one, the Smith & Wesson controversy should have never happened. But the reason it happened, and the reason it'll happen again, is because there is a great disconnect between the shooting industry and the gun culture. And somehow they need to get together. Maybe they need to listen to this show. All right, kids. Remember, you are a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life, and you're welcome for this super special episode. And we will talk to you tomorrow.